506B for buddies.
There it is. So we're live, guys.
For bros.
Welcome back to the 100 Millionaires Podcast. My name is Walter Moreau. The point is not to work, it's to generate income. Mike Shine, bring us in.
All right. Thanks, Walter. Massive income from passive income.
And Mitch, how do we do it?
We got to do it by organizing, collecting, and you do that with syndications.
Yes.
So we were talking about syndications, we're talking about funds. Prior to every one of these calls, me, Mitch, and Mike, we have our own little mastermind. We call it the Three Musketeers. And we dive into some really cool stuff about the markets today. We dove into the stock market. We actually haven't talked about the crypto market, but we'll talk a little bit about that on the call today. And we talked about the real estate market. We're seeing signs of cracking on every single one of these markets. And we've got a plan to acquire more real estate, more stocks, and more crypto over the next 2 to 4 years, 2 to 6 years. But right now, we're looking at some much cooler opportunities. So, Mitch, if you could just very briefly share what the crypto market's been doing.
I mean, I don't know if I put the crypto market in the same boat as the stocks and real estate. I'm not very bearish on crypto. Crypto's 30-second version is crypto's quiet right now. There's been low volatility, low volume. I think the market's trying to decide what it wants to do. Obviously, with the stock market faltering a bit and interest rates going up and all this other stuff, the crypto market seems a little indecisive. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the coming month, because there's always a burst in volatility after we get these quiet periods of low volume, low volatility. So I don't know. It's a coin flip, but I definitely don't feel like it's clearly bearish, so to speak, like I feel some other markets might be. But
so shifting to bearish markets, the stock market, I texted you the other day and I was like, hey, Mitch, is this a Head and Shoulders? And for everybody who doesn't know what a Head and Shoulders top is, it's essentially, I'll let Mitch go ahead, explain to us what is a Head and Shoulders pattern. Why is that such an important deal that is showing up on the S&P 500?
Yeah, I mean, basically it's, in terms of technical analysis, technical charting, it is what is referred to as kind of a topping pattern. So it's generally bearish because prices resolve to the downside. So basically it's when you get a high followed by another high, and then after that like pullback, you get a bounce, but that bounce doesn't take out the prior high. And when you look at the chart, it literally looks like you have a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. So at that point, you're looking for potential downside and seeing if it basically breaks below what they call a neckline, which is basically the pivot points of those bounces. So we kind of have that going on the S&P, and it'll be interesting because if it does break that neckline, things will probably not be pretty for the rest of 2022.
And it's also interesting because we looked at Tesla. You charted Tesla a week or two ago, and you pointed out that it looked like we were in a descending channel that has maintained. It stayed. Yes. Yeah, they're going up and down in that descending channel, which, for anybody who catches this in the moment that we're catching it right now today, for anybody who's watching this not today, then do your own research.
Do your own research.
Today may be a good time to buy, right?
Not financial advice.
About financial advice.
I mean, Tesla is near the lower end of the descending channel. So yeah, obviously in terms of odds, you're better off buying when it's near the low of a channel, assuming that it maintains that channel. Obviously anything can happen, but it's been in it for a hot minute. So we'll see if it continues to do so.
Well, it's kind of interesting, not just the chart side of Tesla, but there's rumors of a 20-for-1 split, number one. And there's also the other auto manufacturers kind of fell flat on their quarters while Tesla was up like 70%. So this is pretty similar to the setup that when I invested when it was in the 300s. So not financial advice, but this thing could rip up to 1600 pretty quickly.
If they do a 20-to-1 split, right, buy today, it sounds good, and then sell a little bit on the news and then buy back when it drops, because post split the stock always drops.
Or it'd just be boring like me and just hold it and just have a ton more shares of Tesla.
Nothing wrong with that. It hasn't worked out detrimentally to your favor. It's always been positive.
It's been awesome, but it takes a lot of takes a strong stomach to own Tesla. Just again, we always say not financial advice, but when it dropped like the other day, day before yesterday, it dropped 120 points, like 14%. So you are your convictions. So, it's there's it's pretty entertaining. Some of the bigger holders were like, I lost $2 million today on Tesla and I'm okay. That's a guy on Twitter, it's like, yeah,
Baller.
but you
It's
just
the,
gotta
it's the fear and
hodl,
emotions. It's the
hodl,
fear and
hodl,
greed.
hodl.
Yeah,
Yep.
hodl all of it.
Hodl.
It's the fear
Yep.
and greed that gets people messed up in
Yeah.
trading. That's why Robinhood got in so much trouble. People were trading out of all these opportunities when really, if they just held, if they bought something they believed in, held it, didn't buy it
Yeah.
on margin, they'd be fine.
Yeah.
It's maybe you made some losses today, but tomorrow went back up. No big deal. It's that thinking people think that they're traders. They have no traditional
Right.
experience in trading. They have no
Right.
emotional experience with trading, but they think that they can trade. And so they're losing money left and right. They're just bleeding all over the place.
Even traders
Right.
think they're traders. I mean, the reality is people that trade for a living don't trade for a living. Like the majority of people do not make money trading. Like I've been on prop desks, I've been in trading offices. Like the majority of people do not make money. It's a handful of guys that are like making literally all of the money. And then everyone else is either just getting by or blowing out.
Yeah. When
I saw it for 5 years. I mean, I saw new faces come through that office regularly.
That gives me a lot of confidence because I think of myself as an investor, not a trader.
You are an investor.
Okay. So I look at the fundamentals of Tesla. It crushed it in the first quarter. There's no other company. I'm not just talking automotive. There is no other company that did what Tesla's doing. They're doing 60 to 70% year over year. And even Elon said that will continue for the next several years. And it may, I think he made some comment like it may even be low. So that it's just insane. And then you see like Ford lost like 2 billion because of their Rivian investment, and GM lost money. It's there's a shift happening right now in front of you. And
it's like Apple back in the day. Tesla is Apple 20 years ago. Yeah. And it was just and Tesla was like, people would look at him like this valuation makes no sense. And it's like, but their growth numbers are crazy. And it's like, yeah, those growth numbers aren't going to last forever because you get too big, but Tesla's not there yet. And, it's still a favorite stock. It still has the cult following. Like it's literally all the ingredients that Apple stock had in 2000. And that's what's going on with Tesla.
Yeah.
And not to go too deep into Tesla, but it's a battery company. So like the whole
it's an energy
still hasn't even shown up yet.
It's actually an energy company. If you looked at the top 10 companies in the world, they are energy companies. So
utilities.
Utilities. If you look at, I mean, there's a couple of companies that are not, I think like Amazon or whatever, but most of them are utilities, big energy companies. And the battery is taking over the energy world. So if you think that Tesla is a car company, you need to do more research.
The cars are just to attract the demand for the product that they actually sell, which is the batteries, the energy itself. That's why they got the Tesla charging stations all over the country. Yeah. They created demand, and now they're positioning themselves to provide supply.
Yeah. I love how mentioning the stock market leads to a complete Tesla conversation.
Guess what my biggest holding is in pretty much 90% of what I own. Sorry, my bad. But yeah,
it's not how you started it. It's just kind of how Tesla's grown.
I was saying it's fun, but I mean, it goes back to it's like the stock market darling right now. It's literally what Apple was 10, 20 years ago. I mean, you go back to 2005. Everyone and their brother owned Apple, talked about Apple, traded Apple. That's what Tesla is now. Tesla is like, and then at some point, there's gonna be another one, like,
right.
Tesla,
one of our battery stocks.
Hopefully. Lithium.
So here's the big challenge, right? So we're real estate investors and we own businesses, and we don't talk about our businesses often enough, but over the next 5 years, business is where I see all the money being made. It's not the stock market. It's not crypto. It's not in real estate. It's got to be in the people who build businesses that take in monthly payments, that provide a valuable service. And that's where people should be investing their time, their money, their energy.
I feel like it's always been that way. It
has always been that way.
When I, we used to go to St. Thomas every Christmas, and we stayed at the same place. We owned like a condo, right? this one beach in St. Thomas, but most of the other people
And
were
I do want to talk about real estate. We'll talk about real estate in just a minute. So go
New
ahead, Mike.
Yorkers, but they were New Yorkers that made like our wealth look like peanuts, like, you know, Central Park West apartments and just crazy. But every one of the patriarchs of the family owned a business or were like CEO of a publicly traded multinational corporation. And that was, you know, it's just, that's where the big money is. And of course, like you always say, you take that and you put it in real estate to preserve that, but the growth is really in businesses. It's just, it's
That's the
exciting.
truth of it. Even our billionaire friends are like, yeah, you know, real estate is more of a
Yeah.
storage of wealth
Yeah.
than I don't go to real estate to build the wealth. I just
Yeah.
go there to kind of hold the
Yeah.
wealth.
I like that you say our billionaire friends.
Isn't that cool?
That's awesome.
And it's so real estate. We were looking at that. A post was put out by Tom Caffarello, one of my original coaches, mentors, and he put out this post. And so to validate him, dude does over 100 flips, 100 purchases, over 300 units in the Boston metro area. So like he knows what he's talking about. He's got 300 agents to work under him. He's got a massive business.
Awesome.
And he put a post out that said, here are the properties that have been sold over the since 2002. So 2002 to 2021. And as I was looking at that list, he said, like, he put it right in the article. He said, look, everybody's saying there's a shortage of inventory. It's not a shortage of inventory. It's an increase in demand that we've seen over the last 6 years, a massive increase in demand. The spike of the amount of properties people are buying and that are selling is what's changed, not the amount of inventory. In fact, we've increased inventory. Just demand is outpacing inventory right now. But in 2021, we saw our first reduction. Since the last 6 years, we've seen our first reduction. And what we're looking at with the chart is actually in 2005, Mitch? 2005, we started seeing a reduction in transactions.
It's in the chat. You've got the chart.
Well, it's in our chat.
Yeah, I'm saying if you want to look at it, Walter. You know.
Yeah, I'll share that. That's a good point. So in 2002, inventory went up. In 2003, inventory went up. Sales went up. 2004, sales went up. And then in 2005, sales started dropping by 2,000. In 2006, sales dropped again by another 5,000. And in 2007, sales dropped an additional from the point of the highest point to that next drop was 10,000 per year sales. But it wasn't until 2008 that we saw the prices dropping. It wasn't until so the inventory, the amount of properties sold per year had dropped 3 years in a row before we started seeing the prices change. And that's what we're seeing right now is inventory is already, the sales per year have started dropping, but we're not going to see the prices drop for another 2 years. But so anybody who's thinking, I'm going to buy, like we might have passed that opportunity.
But just pointing out what you said before we got on, this is single family homes.
Single family homes.
And that
not the
as investors are doing multifamily. And Walter, what was your point about multifamily? It was like
multifamily, when single family homes start getting foreclosed, start selling for less, people start renting. We're moving to a renter nation. The BlackRock has been calling it for years. Warren Buffett's been calling it for years. Ray Dalio has been calling it for years. We're moving to a renter nation, which means the multifamilies are going to continue to hold their value. Rents are going to continue to go up as people are losing their homes. Their single family homes are going to be forced into a rental situation.
Yeah, check
the other
this
side
out.
Is assisted livings. That's the other one that's going to increase.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But check this out. So we're buying a rooming house right now. And that's like the tail end of what you're saying, because in New Bedford, it's probably like $1,250 to get like a 1-bedroom apartment. And some people can't afford that. So if this happens, as you're saying, the people that are in those $1,250 drop down to like a, single guy, $750 a month rooming house. I can't see how that's not going to continue to have demand.
For all the haters who are listening to this right now saying, oh, people aren't going to go to rooming houses. They are. They are. Look at Boston. Boston is full of rooming houses. Boston, you rent by the bedroom. You rent by the bed in some cases. Like the hot markets already have this. LA already has it.
It's like being in college again, baby. Dorm room.
Yeah. Yeah. You have your little fridge, you have a microwave, and you have like a hot plate. And maybe that's all you can afford if you want to be in whatever city you're in, you
The
know?
irony is it's probably true for a lot of, especially like single retirees, because there's a lot of people that like either can't afford to retire or have very limited means, which is
Yep.
unfortunate, which is a whole
Yeah.
nother conversation in terms of the way of our economic system is set up, especially with like pensions being something that have been disappearing over the last decade. So it's like this, we're in this transition period. And unfortunately, there's a generation that's getting caught up in it and not having a good
Well,
retirement
that's
experience.
a great point, Mitch. The whole thing. I was
Yeah.
talking to like Ken Hoffman, who works for Raytheon,
Well,
and
that's
his dad had a pension at Raytheon, but he does not. Not that Ken's
yeah.
getting caught in this, but it's exactly what you're pointing out. People are being
But there's
required
plenty
to
of people
figure
that
out their
aren't
own.
like Ken that aren't prepared
Right.
for it or aren't preparing for it. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So,
Yeah.
but
you're
yeah,
absolutely
That's
right.
what the 100 Millionaires Summit is all about.
exactly. Learn
Perfect
how to have
timing.
retirement dollars. So,
Yeah.
um,
We
yeah,
gotta go. We gotta go so I could go get
Mike's
Mitch
got to
some
go. I'm
money.
kicking him off. That was a
All right.
great way to
October
end it.
21st to the 23rd, be at the 100 Millionaires Summit. We're going to be teaching you how to build your business, how to double your income, how to increase your net worth. We're going to be partnering you with people who are already invested, who are sitting on cash, and people who are bringing deals and starting businesses. This is the event of the year. So click the link, sign up now.
Awesome.
Michael Shine, take us out of here.
Yeah, massive income from passive income, the rental market.
That's right. Mitch Jorsky, how do we do it?
We organize and collect, and we can do that in crypto too. So you
Yeah.
got to come to the 100 Millionaire Summit to find out.
Oh shoot, what's the thing that Mitch always says? Mitch Durfee always says, he always sends a post on Facebook right around now, rent's due.
Oh,
Rents
rents too.
due.
Yeah, Garrison does that as
Month,
well.
rents due.
Oh,
Yeah, I see that from a few people.
The point is
Rents
not to work, it's
due.
to generate income. Go to 100mm Summit. Get your tickets today. We will see you at the summit. Cheers to your
Yeah, we'll-
success. We have a choice.
Always work with the best. We'll all be there. We'll be there.
Heck yeah.
Heck
Come
yeah.
mingle.
All right, guys, go close Mitch's deal. See you in the
Yes.
next
Well,
one.
get me. Who's got my money? Mike Shine's going
Who's
to
got
get
my money?
money.
Refinance.
Well, the buyer's attorney has your money.
Yes.
Oh, you're going
Mike's
collect that
collecting
cash.
it.
Yeah. See ya.
Go collect my money.
Later, guys.
Peace.